Welcome back to another edition of Everything Football. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. Yesterday, before getting into work, I just had no idea what was going on. Got to work, checked out the computer, got on there, did my little thing, looked up, and seen that Alex Smith had been traded from the Kansas City Chiefs to that of the Washington Redskins. And I was like, wow, what a trade. Even though they was pretty much that this year was the last year for Alex Smith. He played lights out. Uh, played lights out. The guy at like I said, did a good job. Uh, when Alex Smith actually had some decent coaching around him and a little decent running game. And I'm gonna just go ahead and go off the bat and just start throwing these few numbers out because people try to tell like Alex Smith is like this bum quarterback, but he's actually a solid quarterback and always has been. It's just his first couple of years in the league with the 49ers going through that complete mess over there. It just wasn't happening until Jim Harbaugh came in. Alex Smith since 2011, Alex Smith is 69, 31, and 1. Okay, since 2015, he's 31 and 15. The last 3 years, all 3 years, he's been to the playoffs. They won the AFC West titles twice in those 3 years. Now, people are going to go down the line what happened with the whole thing, the Titans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But like I said, and I've said this over and over again, Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, as well as just going back to Marty Schottenheimer, that's a one and done town. Sorry, Chief fans, that's a one and done town. Them guys have a great regular season, and they lay an egg in that of the postseason. That happens with them. That has followed Marty Schottenheimer around. That literally followed Andy Reid around for the longest until recently. He would go a little bit deeper in the playoffs, but he never could really get over the threshold of going to the Super Bowl on a consistent basis and everything. And right now, Andy Reid's basically doing the same thing the Schottenheimer's done. I don't know what it is. Must be something in the water. I have no idea. But that's what happens there. And you have the emergence of Patrick Mahomes, a kid that I actually been watching going back in his East Texas days, playing. I think the school is White House, White Oak or White House or something like that. School over in East Texas where he put up staggering numbers that got him into Texas Tech and whatnot. So the funny thing about this is the fact that you have Alex Smith, it was contract year, no hard feelings. He did what he did, and he's been a solid quarterback. Like I said, 69, 31, and 1. That's what he's been over since 2011. Now you go back to 2015, like I said, since 2015 being a starter, 31 and 15, 61 touchdowns, 20 picks. I don't know what else you want your quarterback to basically do. And like I said, Kansas City laid that egg because of poor coaching against Tennessee, poor coaching, their defense, lack thereof. I mean, there's no way. And I honestly believe that had they played New England, they match up with them, they probably win that game. That's just my thoughts on it because I definitely would have picked them. They match up with him. Now I'm saying all that to say, obviously he's going to the Redskins, so we know what's been going on with the Redskins in this whole Kirk Cousins thing. It's well documented on my page how I feel about this. I don't have anything against Kirk Cousins. I think he's an average quarterback. He just so happened to come into to to where the quarterback market is just completely uh, to where they're paying these guys a gang of money, and you're getting mediocre quarterback play. I've done several. I've talked about this several times, and now it's getting ready to come up again. Now, again, let's go to Kirk Cousins. Here we go again. I've already done this before. So how many times I got to keep doing this? That a lot of times numbers mean things when you win. Okay, numbers means, especially quarterback, it means things when you win, especially nowadays because that's the common denominator. Guys can put up all these staggering numbers, but if you're not winning no football games, it doesn't really mean anything. Kirk Cousins, since 2015, becoming a full-time starter. 24, 23, and 1. I will say that again. 24, 23, and 1. Well, Tex, see, 81 touchdowns to 36 picks. He's had one playoff year in those 3 years, one playoff year, one NFC East title, and I can't reiterate this enough. The only reason why the Skins even won the East that year is because Dez Bryant was out and Tony Romo was out. Bottom line, if they're not out, they win the East 14, 15, and of course 16, 3 years in a row, easily. Okay, but that's what it was. Eagles was going through their transition period after the whole the Chip Kelly debacle. So you got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, I don't know where he's going to land at. He's free now. They've never really trusted Cousins because, again, Cousins can get you there to the 20-yard line. He can't cash the chips in. You don't see. I look for him on the sidelines. How does he engage with his line of the players where they have confidence in him? I'm not saying they don't like the guy, but they don't have any confidence in Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins doesn't spew that out. And a quarterback, someone has to have that particular way about him. They do it. I hate using the term swagger. I can't stand that word, but have that it factor, something that like I'll run through the brick wall for that guy or whatever. I can't remember the last time San Diego's been to the playoffs, but somebody like Phillip Rivers, very, 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 very good quarterback. I say great, but it's like can't say great because hasn't been in the playoffs in a minute. And you look up, but it's something about him. You guys will sit up there and get it done for him. And you just I don't see that with Cousins. Cousins just doesn't really have that with him and whatnot. He doesn't have that fire in the belly to where it's like I'm going to get this done. I'm gonna cash the chips in. He getting that 20-yard line. So now the game where he could have turned everything around when they was playing New Orleans, they had that game won. And just like clockwork, what did he do? An intentional grounding. It's just like an intentional grounding, which turns it upside down. Next thing you know, look, book, book, boom. Saints kick a field goal, game's over. Just like that. He's done that. The last 3 games of the season, he basically stunk the joint up. So it's like I said, but again, Kirk Cousins, he's an NFL starting quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I will give him that. Again, I say this over and over and over again. But now with Cousins, he's possibly, because of the market, he's possibly getting ready to probably get $100 million payday. Somewhere along that line. Possible suitors for him, I'll say the Broncos. Broncos are probably going to get him. People say the Jaguars. We'll see what happens. Minnesota, different places like that. Because what's going to get him this is the fact that he's put up some nice numbers. Like I said, 81 touchdowns, 36 picks. He's thrown that in the past 3 years. He's put up nice numbers. I'm not taking that from him. But in a time where these guys throw the ball 45 times, you're going to pick up some yards. I look at the record because again, I'm not saying this many times. I can't stand the whole record thing as if the quarterback, well, that's his record, like he's a damn pitcher or whatever. Or even in that, it's like, dude, it's just like he's not the only one on the field. So it takes 10 other components to do their job to make you look a certain kind of way. So that's my thing. But for the sake of argument, 24, 23, and 1. Now, I said this in defense of Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins in the last 3 years, he went 31 and 15, gave me 2 titles out of those 3 years, and had been in the playoffs 3 years in a row, pay the man. Washington, lock him up for the next X amount of years. Lock him up. Go ahead and lock him up. He hasn't given you that. Cousins has hit the jackpot, and he's milked it. He did what he did in 15. That was coming out of that rookie contract year. He got him to go, okay, we're going to franchise you. They give him 20-some-odd million dollars. Play good again, does good. Then we're going to give, they don't trust him. Why don't trust him? Because he doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't have it to win on a consistent basis. Alex Smith at least has shown you, if nothing else, that safe with the ball. He has more athletic ability. Now, he is older than Cousins. Granted, is Alex Smith going to be the long term for the Skins? Of course not. If he plays anything like he's been playing in where he played at in Kansas City, they're going to be fine. Might be a little scary for me because obviously I'm a Cowboys fan. But like I said, if you give me 31 and 15, I said this, go back and check them other my other videos when I talked about mediocre quarterbacks and stuff and Kirk Cousins and all these other different quarterbacks. I said, you giving me 31 and 15, or you giving me like 10, 11 wins a game? a year and you've won a few titles, or at least in the conference titles, and you get me in the playoffs and you putting up them nice stats like that, you're going to get your money. I ain't got no problem paying you. You giving me that. If Washington might could do something, if Piron could stay somewhat healthy, Jordan Reed, he has all the talent in the world. The kid can't stay healthy. Get some decent wideouts. Because of Swearinger, that defense is really nice. I really was impressed with their defense. I wanted to watch him play defense. He gave them a shot in the arm that they need. Now they need a shot in the arm on offense. And even with that, like Swearinger gave him that. I didn't see, even with Cousins doing what he did, still did not give him that. But now this joker here, Cousins, is getting ready to get paid a bunch of money. But now we're going to see what it's all about now. Because if he goes someplace and he does all of this, but they're still not winning, is he worth that amount of money? See, that's my whole argument with all of this stuff. The money aspect of it. If a joker is getting 20-some odd $1 million a year, because this is what Alex Smith, that's the market. But I can say, give him the market. He gets that payday because of his work. Like I said, 31-15 over the past 3 years. His stats is not as gaudy as Kirk Cousins. I don't care, because at the end of the day, it's about them W's. You put it all together to do that. So again, since 2011, 69, 31, and 1. Since 2011 as a starter. And in the past 3 years, Cousins will give you 24, 23, and 1. You're going to tell me I'm supposed to get this joker 20-some odd $1 million a year because that's what the market says? But like my wife was telling me, and we were talking about houses and stuff like that. She said, see, it's like the housing market. Some of these houses are not worth X amount of dollars here in different places, or like I'm in Northern Virginia, houses are not worth that. But because the market is out there, some of these houses will sit up there, here's a price tag for it. And some joker gonna sit up there and spend that money on that house when that house is not even close to being worth that. Even though this area is crazy expensive in Loudoun County, Fairfax County, all these different places, but that's just it though. So the quarterback market is almost like the same thing. And they want quarterback thirsty league and looking for good quarterback play. So, but it keeps going up. And it used to be your top tier quarterbacks got that kind of money. Now you're having mediocre quarterbacks, semi-good quarterbacks getting these big paydays. But we're going to see what Kirk Cousins is made out of. If he goes to the Broncos, that would be a nice fit for him. He's got to produce though. Because again, he goes to the Broncos, he has one of the greatest top 10 quarterbacks of all time as a general manager. So he's going to have to produce. That's why I have to tell this kid this young cat about, he's telling me about Tebow. I'm like, dude, it's like Tebow had everything you wanted for a football player. He didn't have anything you wanted as a quarterback. And 48% is not going to get you no hardware it's not going to get you no hardware for that franchise or for yourself. So you had John Elway's like, love everything about the kid, but it's like, John Elway, you got to throw the ball in this league, and you can't throw the ball, kid. You got to go. And went and got Peyton Manning. Well, the rest is history. We all know what happened with that. So my thing to Kirk Cousins, whoever gets Kirk Cousins, like the spotlight is going to be on him because he's going to get paid a bunch of money. He could possibly go to the Jets. But if he goes to the Jets in New York, come on, man. You already know he's going to be under a microscope. He would, anywhere he goes with the amount of money, he's going to have to produce. Now, something Skip Bayless said that was interesting. Maybe he can try to sit up there, and maybe he go to Cleveland where expectations are not that high. So he might can sit up there and get the money and do whatever he needs to do. But at the end of the day, expectations are not going to be that high. So we'll see what ends up happening with that situation. But like I said, yeah, I think Alex Smith, good fit for Washington for the next couple of years. He's not the long term. They're going to have to draft a quarterback because Smith is 33 years old. So they have to draft a quarterback eventually. So that's coming. But I don't have no problem with a quarterback getting their pay. I'm just sitting up there saying that in the league, a lot of guys are getting a bunch of money and they haven't really done anything. Now, I've listened to a lot of stuff with Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp agree with a lot of stuff he said, but he said, well, Kirk Cousins is this, that, and the other. He put up these. I'm like, if I don't deal with woulda, coulda, shouldas. if John Elway had Terrell Davis, if they had a running game in his earlier years in the league, it's a possibility that John Elway could have had five Super Bowl rings. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Instead, he only had two. He lost 3 Super Bowls, 2 and 3. You know what I'm saying? So that's my point. Coulda, woulda, shoulda doesn't work. Not with me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. If I was 6'2", I could have done, well, coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's not going to work. So I don't care about what he didn't have. If you're getting that kind of money, you got to show me something that got to come better than 24, 23, and 1. So wherever he goes next, now the spotlight is definitely going to be on him now because Washington has been in a tailspin since 2013. Now they did whatever they did in 2015, but they've been in the tailspin since 2000 and since basically 2000. It's going back to 2013. Okay, RG3, that whole thing debacle that shouldn't even went on, but it went that way. But that's what happens when you sit up there and you're coaching and you have to draft this player that you really don't like. So that's an issue with that right there. But that's what I'm saying. So it was in a mess already. Kirk Cousins more messier, but he got paid. That's the funny thing. He got a rack of money out of the last couple of years, just based on the market and them franchising. So now wherever he goes now, it's going to be a bunch of money. And if he goes to Denver, he's got to produce. If he goes to Denver, if anywhere Cousins goes, he's going to have to produce. He's going to have to come up with those numbers, but he's got to win. See, fine that he came up with the numbers over there at Washington, he got paid. But he didn't come up with no W's. So we're going to be looking out for that and see what happens, see wherever Cousins goes. And of course, I'll be doing the piece on him or whatever coming up. But like I said, it's a good fit for Alex Smith. Last nice chunk of change he gets before he rides off into the sunset. That's his last major contract that he's going to get. He's going to be pretty much done. That's going to be it. Nice chunk of money. He's probably going to average $20 to $25 million a year. Not bad for a quarterback that was a former first pick, went through trials and tribulations and everything like that. Solid. He's a very solid quarterback and played and lights out this year. Whatever. If they didn't go on that 5-game skid, he might have could have been the MVP. But I can't put that all up on him. Their defense blow. But at the same time, Alex Smith did what he did. Kirk Cousins, all people say injuries, his line was, okay, I got that. But we're talking about that 20-some-odd million dollars he get, and people are going to always look at that. Is he worth that amount of money? I say he's not. If he's making 10, 11, 12 million dollars a year, which I think that's about it. It should be lower than that. But okay, give it to take $12 million a year, fine. Go ahead and give him that. Keep him with that 24, 23, and 1 record and fine. Okay, if I'm giving that 20-some-odd million dollars a year, now you got to bring me some NFC East titles up in here, partner, because that's not going to work. I need some NFC East titles. And I need some playoff wins if I'm giving you that kind of money. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes.